It is Eagles Morning Rises Breakfast Show. How you feeling this morning? Remember to follow us across social media platforms. I'm talking Eagles TV Abuja, where the audiovisual television radio experience is being aired for your watching pleasure, if you like, your viewing pleasure. And on Facebook, it is Eagles FM Abuja. There is a television there. On YouTube, Eagles TV Abuja. On Facebook, Eagles FM Abuja. That television is very professional now. You can get on there, show us that support, and be part of what we do. And across social media platforms, every other one as you know them, it will be Eagles FM Abuja. The website is www.eaglesfm.com, right? www.eaglesfm.com. My name is Uduak Daniel. Now, you can as well sponsor any part and every part of the Eagles Morning Rises Breakfast Show. You can get your business on here. You can decide that, you know what, you want to be the sole sponsor for the newspaper review, and you are a sport lover right there. Okay, you can say, hey, I like Alan Smith so much. I love what he does. I just want to sponsor that very hour for sports and all of that. We are open to business, and guess what? It is really, really fair. The prices that we put out there for you, and trust me, when I say it is fair, it is truly, truly fair, right? Oh, it could be the general open banter. It could be any other, segment of the Eagles Morning Rise as you know it, right? You are a business person. I know quite a number of you are business persons. You can come on here, send us a message via the WhatsApp. Just drop it like it's hot and spicy. Tell us that, hey, give me details as to what the sponsorship or what it means to have my business being played or put out here on this very platform, and our social media team will be here to do justice to your message. Well, it is the Eagles Morning Rises Breakfast Show. I say it again, I said it before, and it is the Eagles Outlook. Well, now, what exactly is the Eagles Outlook? Eagles Outlook is that segment of the morning rise. I keep saying it is a moving train, so nobody's left behind, where we look into matters that concern politics, matters that concern current affairs. And Nigeria's national debt has become a major public discussion. I mean, I can tell you for sure that on very recently, right? Mr. Peter Obi, CON of the Democratic Congress, Nigeria Democratic Congress, that is, said the debt is about 200 trillion naira. Oh yeah, with over 100 trillion naira added in 3 years under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. Now, he didn't stop there. He cited Budget Office data, and that Budget Office data showed 11.89 trillion naira borrowed from January to September of 2025. Yet, only 3.10 trillion naira, or 17.66%, went to capital projects. Right? Now, if you also recall that we saw where Mr. Dada Olusegun, who's a special assistant to the president on social media, replied him. He said the increase is mostly due to naira devaluation. He also went on to saying that it's not about borrowing, it's about naira devaluation. So adding that the government inherited about 20 trillion naira in ways and means advances, which were securitized in May of 2023. If you also recall that in April 2026, the Senate approved a $5 billion total return swap with First Abu Dhabi Bank. If you still recall that on June 3 of 2026, the IMF released the Article 4 report, right? And it noted 4% GDP growth in 2025, $46 billion in reserves, but only 63%, but also 63% poverty, 27 million food insecure, and 53% of federal government revenue used for debt service in 2025. So the IMF called $5 billion TRS opaque. So this is the issue. Citizens want to know how much is new borrowing, how much is devaluation, and whether the money built roads, schools, and hospitals. The simple question will be, if debt service takes half of revenue, what is left for ordinary Nigerians? I'll ask that question again because it has to hit home. If debt service takes half of revenue, what is left for ordinary Nigerians? That is the question in the minds of quite a number of Nigerians when it comes to this matter as it stands, right? But I always love to paint a picture, right? And it is very important that I paint this picture so that we can have a better understanding of what this conversation really is about. Let's start with something everyone knows. Imagine you have a piggy bank. Every month, your parents give you 1,000 naira pocket money. That is your income, right? Sometimes you want to buy a bicycle that costs, let's say 500 naira. Or no, let's just say 5,000 naira. The bicycle is 5,000 naira. Now, you do not have 5,000 naira presently, right? So you borrow 5,000 naira from your big brother. You promise to pay him back 500 naira every month. That 500 naira is like debt service. I don't know if you're following. Now, two things can happen. For example, if you're borrowing for something useful, that's one thing that can happen. So you use 5,000 naira to buy the bicycle, yeah? Follow me now. With the bicycle, you start helping Mama Ngozi, for example, carry her goods to the market. Now, she pays you 200 naira every day. In a month, you make 6,000 naira. Now, you can easily pay your brother 500 naira and still have money left, right? Okay, so that is something you can call good borrowing. Let me also suffice to say that borrowing is not a crime. I mean, countries of the world, even businesses, they thrive by borrowing. But the bicycle is like a road. The bicycle is like a school. The bicycle is like the power sector, the power plants. It helps you make more money. Remember, it helps you make more money. So that is what the government calls a capital project. Hospital, roads, schools, these are things that bring about more revenue if it is at its efficient level. Now, let me give you the second aspect of it. When you borrow for something that disappears, the first one, you're borrowing for something that is useful. Now, if you're borrowing for something that will just totally disappear with thin air, let's get back to that analogy. Instead, you use the 5,000 naira to buy snacks and toys. You're not buying the bicycle. You're not buying the other things now that can be very helpful and can bring return. You decide to buy toys. You decide to buy snacks. In 1 week, all of them, they're gone. You still owe your brother 500 naira every month, but you have nothing that is making money or bringing income for you. Now, what you will do now is that you'll start, or you must use your 1,000 naira pocket money to pay him. So you are left with 500 naira for the rest of the month. And now that is bad borrowing. It's like using a loan to pay salaries or do parties. No new income comes from it. It's like pouring water in a basket. It's not going to get full. It keeps draining out. Let me paint you with the third example. Now imagine you borrowed $5 from your uncle in America when $1 was 500 naira. So you owe 2,500 naira. Next year, $1 becomes 1,500 naira because naira fell. That's the devaluation now. You still owe $5. But in naira, you now owe 7,500 naira. You did not borrow more money. The amount just looks bigger because naira lost value. That is what government means when they say the valuation increased our debt. So the government is saying that, look, that debt you're seeing there, the reason it's hit 200 million, I want to believe 200 million now. Yeah? Yes. The reason it has hit 200 million, or 200 trillion, I beg your pardon, naira, is because the value of naira has reduced. It has been bastardized. It's been devalued. So it will naturally increase how much you're owing or that you borrowed in the first place. So here we are. Long ago in 2005, Nigeria owed many countries a lot of money. President Obasanjo from Ogun State, now if you remember, paid back 12 billion US dollars to cancel 30 billion US dollars debt. And after that, Nigeria's debt was very, very small, very minimal. So our piggy bank was almost clean. From then till now, from 2015 to 2023, under President Buhari from Katsina State, Nigeria borrowed to build some roads, rails, and to pay salaries. So the debt rose from about 12 trillion naira to 87 trillion naira. Think of it like taking more loans each year for both bicycles and snacks. You keep taking loans for those types of things. Now today, from 2023 till now, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from Lagos State, Nigeria's debt number jumped to about 200 trillion naira. Oh yeah. So Peter Obi from Anambra State is saying and asking, where did all these monies go? And the government said, we did not collect 100 trillion naira cash. Most of it is because the naira fell from 460 naira to 1,500 naira to $1. So our old dollar loans now look bigger in naira. So what exactly is the problem? From January to September of 2025, government borrowed 11.89 trillion naira, but only 3.10 or 3.10 if you like, trillion naira went to things like roads and schools. So imagine you borrowed 11.89 trillion naira and then 3.10 trillion naira only went to the purpose for which borrowing should be meant for, which is building roads, building schools, hospitals, and stuff like that. That will indeed in turn create revenue, which will enable you comfortably pay back that loan and probably even have interest. It's like borrowing 10,000 naira but using only 1,700 naira to buy a bicycle. Then the rest went to snacks and paying old debts. So also 53% of government's money now goes to paying debts. And that's more like using 530 naira of every 1,000 naira pocket money to pay your brother. And it's going to leave you with 470 naira for food, for books, for clothes, and every other essential that you need. So why is this conversation very important? For children, for teenagers, for young adults. Why should you care? If government uses too much money to pay debts, there may be less money for your school, for hospitals, when you're sick, or for jobs when you finish school. So if loans are not used for the intended purpose, like I gave you in the analogy, the bicycles that will in turn help to carry loads, do things, and then give you returns, which of course would like to say good projects, because when you build good roads, you take care of the power sector, you take care of the health, build infrastructure. That's good project. But the country will not make extra money to pay back. Then everyone suffers. So the big question Nigeria is asking now is, did we borrow to buy bicycles or to buy snacks? Did we borrow to fund capital projects like road, schools, power? Or did we just buy it to fill our pockets out of greed and selfishness. Call it welcome package, like we saw it in the last conversation we had, was it yesterday? Where lawmakers have allocated monies to themselves. But they say it's not them. They said it's the RMAFC's duty to do that. It is the RMAFC that thought it fit to give them these kinds of humongous, mind-blowing monies. Welcome package money for new lawmakers. To the tune of 17 billion naira. Is it? Yeah. So they borrow monies to get sophisticated, bulletproof SUVs. That's like buying stack. That's like doing entertainment. How is that benefiting you and I? So how do we make sure that our debts do not crush our pockets money? Especially now that the naira is falling, or it keeps falling. So this is what the entire debate is all about. Now, I'll introduce you to my guest now. Is Sir Ankeli. Well, I like to call him Sir Ankeli, actually. And he's going to be adding his voice in this discourse this morning. It's going to help us understand, because there are some salient questions that I'm sure is going through your mind. And there's a need to talk about it even now. Very important for us to talk about these issues even now. A very good morning to you, Sir Ankeli.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome aboard. Now, you are the Northwest Regional Editor of National Accord newspaper and Global Patriots News USA. Welcome aboard to this conversation this morning.
Thanks once again.
So here we are again, Sir Ankeli. Peter Obi is saying that our debts has gotten into 200 trillion naira as it stands. And the IMF, not the IMF now, the federal government is replying to him and saying, in case you are not aware, Peter Obi, the value of naira has been devalued. So it's not exactly that what it is now is what it is. No, it's because the devaluation of the naira. That's what caused it. So if naira devaluation can double the size of our debt without even borrowing new borrowings, what does that mean for every Nigerian who earns and saves in Nigeria? Nigerians are also asking, when only 3.10 trillion naira of 11.89 trillion naira borrowed in 9 months, 9 good months, went to capital projects, how do we ensure that future borrowing actually builds schools, roads, fixes the power sector, helps us have the state-of-the-art hospital equipment? If 53% of federal government revenue is used to pay debts, what then is left to reduce poverty that now affects 63% of Nigerians? Sir Ankeli, help us make sense of this. What is your thoughts on this?
All right, thank you so very much. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I think about our country, our beloved country called Nigeria, I shed tears. You know why?
Tell us.
Not for this present generation, but I shed tears for generation yet on. Because from all indication, all available indices suggest or point to the fact that we are already heading towards a failed state. And if there is no reverse gear to take us back from where we are heading, then the future of this country will be catastrophic and very, very appalling. Right. However, all hope is not lost. I'm sure all hope is not lost, maybe we should certainly be expecting a miracle. Maybe with time, things will get better. But that's just faint hope that we Nigerians continue to give ourselves now. Now, coming to the topic of discourse. For goodness sake, one will now begin to ask, what are all these borrowings for when we are not seeing the dividend of the money being borrowed? Now, for instance, you want to build a house. You borrowed money from the bank, probably use something else as collateral. And rather than using that money for the house which you proposed for, you now went and used that money for luxury cars. And these luxury cars, I'm only giving an example of the Nigerian scenario.
Yeah.
And these luxury cars, they are not assets, they are rather liabilities. Because you continue to service them, you fuel them, you ensure that they are in good condition, and that entails consistent spending. That is what Nigerian leaders are doing. If we are borrowing, then we should borrow to make our country better, and not borrowing to put our country into penury, not borrowing to put our country into to mortgage the future of the country. So, as it is now, the borrowing they are borrowing is borrowing to mortgage the future of this country. They are not borrowing to liberate the future of this country. Now, just look at the example you gave. For crying out loud, come to think of it, what are those tangible projects that since the regime of President Muhammadu Buhari, of blessed memory, up to this very moment, what are those tangible projects that they will point out to let Nigerians know that yes, this is what we've been able to achieve? Is it the Kaduna Kano Sokoto road that Buhari gave contract time without number and up to now is still not completed? Is it the Abuja Kogi whatever road that contracts were given time without number that was not completed? I think the only thing, kudos to them, the only thing could be maybe the completion of the second Niger bridge.
What about the Lagos Calabar coastal highways?
But has it been completed?
No, it's still.
And it's just a recent contract given.
Yeah.
You understand? Same thing as Sokoto Badagry coastal highway or whatever. You understand? Those ones are recent contracts. And those contracts, I can bet you, when the Minister of Works came to Sokoto for the groundbreaking ceremony of that contract, he said, if you want this project completed, vote Tinubu 2027. So that contract is tied to his re-election. You understand? How many kilometers is that road that cannot be completed within 2 years? So if you see, sometimes your project speaks for you. You don't even need campaign. If as a good leader, you don't even need campaign. Your projects, the dividends you deliver to people, should be able to speak for you. And our would-be leaders or our leaders, they are spending much money on campaign because they are failures. If you are not a failure, for instance, if I should tell you that, okay, let's take example with a school. Now, if you bring in a principal to a school, for instance, and that school wasn't performing well before, and the principal turned around things, teachers became serious, students became serious. At the end of the day, maybe during their WAEC, school that were not performing well before, there happens to be maybe overall best in the state. You as the owner of that school, we don't have any reason whatsoever to contemplate removing that principal. The answer is no. So now Nigeria is like a school. Our leaders are principals. The overall head is the principal, and every other leader, they are teachers in the school. So as it is now, by the time we are assessing them as leaders or as principal of a school, now the WAEC Nigeria is right now. And what are those WAEC? That is the economic indices, the security indices, the poverty indices, the infrastructure indices. That is the WAEC that Nigerians are writing now. Now, By the time you look at all those indices, is there anyone that we've gotten correctly? The answer is no. Therefore, both the principal and the teachers, they've performed woefully. But even in case they perform creditably well, every Nigerian will be happy. They don't even need campaign. Nigerians will be the one to campaign for themselves. You understand? So the truth of the matter is this. Okay, now, is it power? These are the same government that promised us that by the time they come to power, come to government and they don't fix power, we should vote them out. But after coming to power, the highest they can do is thinking of putting solar in presidential villa. So now, if presidential villa and most of the state governments now are putting solar in government houses, so now they are telling us Nigerians that there is no hope, all Nigerians.
But they're encouraging Nigerians now that look, you can own your own solar. You can have your own solar in your homes and even contribute to the national grid. I mean, that's what the new Minister of Power is actually pushing now. Isn't that something positive, where Nigerians now can generate their own power?
How many Nigerians have the money to generate their power? Then what is the government doing for the common Nigerian, for the ordinary person? What is the essence of government in the first place? If that is what they are encouraging Nigerians to do, yes, of course, the encouragement is good. Everyone can generate power, but then, what does the common Nigerian stand to benefit from the government? That is the question they should also ask themselves.
Maybe self-reliance.
These are the same set of people that enjoyed everything virtually during their school days. Government provided everything for them. But these are the same set of people now that deliberately choose to crash all public schools simply because they own private schools, simply because they are in charge of public funds. They can send their children to schools abroad. Like I've been saying time with that number, until ordinary Nigerians stand up to defend their right. And what are those rights? They are rights that they are enshrined in our constitution. You understand?
But Mr. Ankle, is it not feasible? Is it not feasible that the presidency would, in their defense, which seems to be a reasonable defense, saying that look, in June of 2023, Mr. President unified the exchange rate, and at that time the official rate moved from about 460 naira to $1 to over 1,500 naira to $1 by 2025. So because about 40% of Nigeria's debt is external, and it's not just external, it's in dollars, the naira value would naturally rise sharply. So, for example, now if 40 billion US dollars in external debt was 18.4 trillion naira at 460 naira to $1, right? Then at 1,500 naira to $1, it will now become about, if not 60 trillion naira. That is like 41.6 trillion naira more without new borrowing. Does it not make sense if such a position is being put out there on this matter?
Thank you so very much. Of course, that's economic indices. And that is the simple truth. By the time there is a devaluation, then you must expect that to happen. However, the question all of us should be asking is this. These monies that we are borrowed, what were they borrowed for? Were they actually used for the purpose in which they were meant for?
So should the government not have paid salaries? Because at that point we kept saying that we didn't have monies, even though a select few were indeed affording to build estates and buy very expensive cars. The government said there was no money, so we had to borrow to pay salaries. Imagine not paying salaries in Nigeria. What kind of chaos that would cause? But let me pause you for a bit there. Let's just quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Honorable Edwards.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, my call is from point of order.
Okay.
Mr. Odua,
yes,
I've been on this question for long, and I've just discovered that these people are not giving us topic. Does it mean government since the return of democracy in Nigeria, does it mean government has not done anything good? Because all your topics are completely, it's becoming an opposition radio station. I've never said this is what, give us a topic. GSA was not in Nigeria. Obasanjo introduced, that is what I'm calling you. Have you ever bring a topic that they are concerned? Even Guru Jonathan, he did, Jonathan was the best. I can give you what. Look at the case in Niger Delta. Have you ever introduced a topic like that? Even our president has done so many things that need to be discussed on this radio. Why is it that everything is against government? Introduce a good topic. We call us, the family of this thing, oppose your topic. It seems you are inducing, you are encouraging this thing. I know in journalism, you have to be neutral. But your neutralization is no longer the air. People should try and neutralize the topic that you know this time.
Prof? Is it a prof?
He is always neutral.
Is it prof?
Please.
Okay.
This one is an evil man.
Okay, sir. Honorable, no problem. Noted.
Here are always against government. It seems you people are selected them.
Noted.
People are selected them.
All right, honorable.
So I have to raise the point of order. I am always honest, and if government is something bad, you knew very well that I will be against it. But doesn't mean nothing is happening.
But honorable, honorable,
thank you.
Honorable, thank you. It's really funny how that we actually play to emotions very quickly. Honorable, I'd like to correct you with every form of duty and responsibility. That when Mr. President and anything is done good and rightly in the country, we say it's good. I'm not going to say so much on this. I'm going to let the guests talk, pointing accusing fingers and alleging. That's not something I'd expect from you, but it's okay. I mean, as a family. Why would anybody take pleasure? Sankali, are you there?
Yeah,
why
of course
would anybody take pleasure in destroying an administration that is working?
I want to believe Honorable wasn't following from the onset. Supposing he was following from the onset, I gave an analogy of a school owner, a principal, and teachers. You understand? So that alone, supposing he was following from the onset, I think that alone would have been able to console him, and he wouldn't have raised this point of order. Because I say, as a school owner, if you engage a principal for a school that wasn't performing before, and the principal engages or encourages the teachers and they put in their very best, you have no reason whatsoever than to think of looking elsewhere rather than appraising the principal for his performance. And I said our politicians don't need campaign if they were delivering. You understand?
Right.
Now I want Honorable to also note.
Yes.
I want Honorable to also note that the media, being the fourth estate of the realm, is to hold government accountable to the people, hold government responsible to the people. That, however, does not mean where they performed, the media doesn't also tell the people this is what they have been doing and this is what they've been doing right. And if he has been an ardent follower of your program, he should also be able to justify the fact that wherever they are right, you also state it.
It's really sad.
Without any form of ambiguity.
It's really sad.
You state it plainly that what about this they've done? What about this they've done? Even in the course of this discussion, we've mentioned about 2 or 3 things that have been accomplished.
That's right. We
talk about second Niger Bridge. We talk about Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. We talk about Lagos Sokoto Badagry Highway. So I think probably maybe he might feel the government is not being commended the way he thinks it should be. However, I also want to suggest that if he has a quantum of completed projects,
good,
or a topic that he feels Nigerians will not dispute, a topic that he feels Nigeria will not have any reason to scrutinize it from the negative perspective, he can also bring it forth. Then you also put it in your next topic for discussion. Is allowed. You understand? Let him suggest topic with facts. You understand? Evidence-based, verifiable facts of what have been achieved. You understand? For us to also talk about.
I mean, sorry, if nobody is pained, if Nigerians, I'm talking to you now listening, if you're not paying the 200 trillion naira we are owing in this country, and the way things are going in this country is wrong, and we have lawmakers who would buy SUVs that are bulletproof in this time and age, and you're not disturbed. You're not bothered. You're okay. So let's talk about the good things. I'd rather be an opposition if that's what you feel. But I'll continue speaking the truth. If you don't see my truth, it's your truth. Look, and let's just put a peg. I see, this is the reason we keep going backwards and staying stagnant. Let's listen to this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you. This is Moses from Suleja.
Moses, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Thank you. I think let's drop emotion.
Right.
This station, you make justice. Anyone who says you don't make justice on what is going on in this country, I think that the person has not got it right. Why do you have bells there? How many times have you been ringing bells? Yeah, we are the evidence of it. We started with this station.
Right.
I am one of the person and with the other people that started with this station, and we know what is obtainable. You know that what I come to discover from the Eagle FM is that you complement areas that are complemented. Then you now discover faults that will open an eye to the government to take actions when necessary actions to be taken. So the issue of non-complement or no complement is not part of this station. And I know that you are so quick, even include all your workmen in that station. There are words that will come that will instigate the government that you may not allow it. You may not allow it. That is another kudos, added value to this station. So the bell there, no day you never ring bells on every good thing that the government do. So the issue now on the ground is that what is happening is that we are an eye seeing. You did. Don't ever tell me that anybody that succeeded the other person will never tell the other past regime that they are done well. They will always come up. I know right from ages, the system of this country. No leader. Buhari will come and say that the embezzle money, corruption and everything, insecurity. So it's part of us. So it shouldn't be something you can know somebody responsible for that. No, what the station is doing is good. This area you are doing well, but this area you need to do more. Because if you don't, why do we have hospitals? Is that when you are sick, you go for hospital for what? For treatment. They will discover your sickness and they will treat you. And you know that most of that. So this station is helping a lot. Okay, look at one of our persons in this station made comments that says the vote security money being given to our security men, what are they do? Do they give account of it? Thank God for House of Reps. When that thing came out that day, I said, wonderful. I said, what we are speaking here, the government always allows. So the House of Reps invited the chief security to come and give account of the money being given. So you know that that statement that you brought on this station was discussed some few days ago. And government listening to it, and they followed what they discussed. So you people are doing a great job there.
Anyways, Moses,
don't be carried away by emotion.
No, it's
you
okay.
are doing a perfect and professional job. And I want to thank your guest over there. Your guest has made justice to most of these statements.
Right.
And I want to appeal that if we have such people like this in this country, these are the people we are looking for. The people that know the problem, the people that can meet and solve the problem, not the people that will make problems to escalate. So we are looking for such persons. Right. That man in that studio there. Right. We want to know, to have such people in our government. Thank you.
Many
God
thanks.
bless you.
Moses, thank you. I mean, let's dwell on that anymore. Let's not dwell on that. It's just really funny. I mean, this is why we are where we are today. This is exactly why we are where we are today. Right. But anyways, Sir Ankeli, this is really, 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 well, it's just charming. It's really charming. So Ankeli,
Yes, sir.
Here we are. Let me take a couple of reactions from Nigerians via the website. Yeah? This one is coming from Fatima. She is in Abuja here, we'll say. Says, when I heard about debt now becoming 200 trillion naira, I had to sit down. My salary as a nurse has not increased in 2 years, yet prices of everything have tripled. This is Nigerians talking. It says, my worry is that if government is using 53% of money to pay debts, what will remain to fix our hospitals and pay doctors? Can the Ministry of Finance show us one completed federal hospital built with these new loans since 2023? That's what Fatima is asking. I see this one here. It's coming from who now? God's Power. God's Power is in Guarimpa now. It says, all this talk about naira devaluation making debts bigger makes sense. But in no means say we should just accept them like that, okay? It says if dollar loans are now bigger in naira, then the same will happen to my children's school fees abroad. How are ordinary families supposed to plan since government says most of the increase is not new cash? Why are we still borrowing 11.89 trillion naira in 9 months? Everything that we've said here is on facts. If you debunk it, bring proof. Sir Ankeli, what do you think about these?
Thank you so very much. Thanks to the speaker that spoke just now. And like I said earlier, for every government that comes, Nigerians must scrutinize. They must appraise. That is part of governance. For any government that comes and believe that it should be all rosy, it doesn't work that way. Even if the government is doing its best, people will still have to point out to areas where they need to put more effort. So Honorable should not be carried away by emotion. Probably maybe with due apology, it's possible that maybe it's one of the, I might be wrong, I might be right, but I am sure from what he has said, maybe possibility of him being one of the campaign coordinators of the ruling party sooner than later. I might be wrong. Anyway, it's just an assumption.
I'm not sure. Yes.
And with apology anyway.
I'm not sure.
Because I don't see any reason why someone should be so pained that they are talking about the odds, the ills in this country. And someone feel, no, the best thing to do is to be praising him. We have grown beyond that stage. The stage where we are now is to tell ourselves the reality, the facts on ground. Now, if you tell me that the reality is just like former the current National Security Advisor was in Sokoto sometimes and said that security has improved tremendously. And while in that hall, when he made that statement, everybody was like, in disapproval. How would you come to a place like Sokoto and say security has improved tremendously? When on daily basis...
Right there. Hello? Sir Ankeli, are you there? Okay. Well, I'll try to reconnect with Sir Ankeli right there, but let me take your messages via the WhatsApp now. I see this one, Obunna Uko says, good morning to you. Okay, I see this one too, right here and on here. Okay, I'll take this call. Let's just take this call already. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning, Udon.
Yeah, good morning, please. Can you turn down the volume on your radio?
Are you okay?
Where are you calling from? What's your name?
My name is John from Suleja.
John, talk to me. Very quickly, if you can.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the thing that baffles me is when you call out the loan being borrowed since Buhari regime till these days. Is it that you are putting lies on it and trying to pull down the government? Is it a fact? And somebody said it's a new man that is on the studio, or we want to don't say something negative about the government. Just like Yadel said, all of us cannot be talking praising us and negative about the government or saying praising them about what they did not do. No, So everybody should take it easy. Look at it, where he's coming from in Benue State. That we have ravaged everything. He said sometime ago he said he's not going home anymore. So we can say now that security is okay, everything is fine, and we're doing well. And it's like this cry of Nigeria are not reaching him. Well, somebody will feel comfortable. Just like one the caller said, today's survivor is tomorrow victim. We can take this issue to the power and let them buckle up. Thank you very much.
Mr. John, thank you. But I want to ask you, Nigerians, how do you feel? Buhari came and he left of blessed memory $87 trillion. We're owing. And we've come again. And somebody's raising the point that, hey, why are we still borrowing? Our debt has gone to 200 trillion now. How many are we in this country? Are we even thinking in this direction? And then we are still borrowing on top of it. And yet we have people who are stealing our natural resources in the northeast in the name of Boko Haram. They are mining it from the ground. Gold. Who is accounting for it? Uranium, lithium. We have it there. We've not even built a nuclear weapon. We don't even have capacity to do so. Would we even encourage local investors, local entrepreneurs to do so? I'm not pushing for that. I'm just saying we have everything and yet we have nothing to show for it. You know, Sir Anthony Ibrahim is saying the topic is in line. The problem at hand is in accordance with constitutional rights. This will serve as an awareness to the power for betterment of the citizens. All right, thank you, Yunusa. I'd rather speak the truth and be in opposition than sugarcoat and be friends. I see this one here from Samuel. It says, inasmuch as everyone have the freedom of expression, UD, can anyone show me or tell me where this present government have done well and is not being commended? The achievements just few, but are they doing well in many others? So UD, no one should discourage you from the good work you're doing. Keep up the wonderful work, he says. Thank you. Let's go to Yunusa. Yunusa is, Yusuf, I beg your pardon, is in Wuse 2 in Abuja. Good morning, UD and your guests. Good morning. To me, Nigeria government has been mortgaging the future of unborn Nigerians by taking useless loans foreign, using ambiguous terminologies. They usually claim that the loans are for economic stabilization, improving governance in education and health, sustainable power in irrigation, building digital infrastructure, nutritional stimulus, COVID-19, adolescent girls initiative, and all manner of purposes that nobody feels their impact or that one can track. I ask, why can't our government cut its cloth according to its clothes? Why the penchants for deficit budgets when the country is heavily in debt? Have a nice day. Let me get to the Facebook page, Paul. I really want to know what you're saying there on Facebook, right? I see this one is coming from who now? All right. Ikele, all right, says good morning. Let's just take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning to you, Yunusa.
I greet the guest in the studio.
Right.
As usual, I remain Yunusa Anthony Ibrahim from Abuja. I've been listening to all the conversation in line with the input of the guest. I want to chip on my own idea by asking the government. In every government, there is enough weaknesses and area of progress. And as a citizen of Nigeria, by theory, democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And in that aspect, if the citizen found some area of weaknesses, they can say it out in order to ameliorate the suffering of the citizen. That is just the democracy. So that the dividend of democracy can go around to every corner. Everybody, perfection is an attribute of God. Only a human being that is not perfect. It is only that is perfect. In line with this, the present government has found some areas, but very few, in the area of controlling the price of food items. In terms of security, borrowing, the Nigerians are not happy for that. We are borrowing, and subsidy has been removed in all ramifications. No more subsidy in electricity, no more subsidy in fuel sector and other people and other areas like that. Then now, with this money that we are borrowing, what is the benefit of this money or this funds that have been borrowed by the common citizens of Nigeria? That's just the problem. Power supply is not that standard, and people are suffering. Go to our local hospitals. There's nothing like subsidy even within the drugs. People suffer, to pay hospital bill and other things. Then I think, by my own perspective, I will advise the government, the present government, to do the right thing. The present government still have a long way to go. We are not speaking to antagonize any government. We are speaking as a protagonist or a realist, not critic, in line with democratic settings.
Right.
So in this view, I am appealing to the government to please do the necessary, retract their decision and do the right thing, so that the development of democracy will go to the mass.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister. Appreciate that. Right, Sir Ankeli. I mean, here we are.
Yes.
Here we are with we are on a timed bomb. Are there any recommendations for this government, for this administration? Even though they've said that they inherited it. Don't forget the CBN ways and means that was inherited from the Buhari administration, right? They had to turn it into a type of a formal loan. That's what they've turned it into now. But how is it helping us? What recommendations?
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I think issue of saying inherited debt, inherited bad governance, inherited this, it doesn't hold water. Because these are the things they used to campaign that when they come on board, they are going to change them. They are going to change the narrative. So if the narrative is not still changed and the basis is still on inherited this, inherited that, I think it's a sign of admittance that we are yet to do the right thing. So there is still time, just like the other speaker just said. And I want anybody that is listening to this station to know that the station is not antagonizing the government. Rather, the station is telling the government what the masses feel about the government. And that should serve as an advice for the government. Because the person that tells you the truth is your best friend, rather than the sycophant that tells you lies. Now, this is a country we are now is like someone that has a wound. And for that wound to get healed, they must treat that wound. And in the course of treating that wound, you must feel the pain. But if you say because of the pain you will not treat the wound, then the wound will continue to devastate. So like it or not, whatever that is being discussed in this station is treating the wound that is a cankerworm to the survival and the good governance that Nigerians expect to have. So the simple reality is this: either we like it or not, our leaders must have a retrospection and genuinely ask themselves and also ask Nigerians, have we delivered up to your expectation? And I'm sure even without waiting for the answers, they will know that the answer is no. Now, which other area do you want us to improve on? First and foremost, security. Concentration should be more on security. Like I said the other time, that we are pampering with terrorists in this country. We are pampering insecurity in this country. To come to think of it, and you want to tell me that the whole Nigerian security don't have the technologies to identify, using GPS to identify wherever that people are being kept, that they will stay in the bushes for up to a year, up to 6 months, up to 7 months, up to 8 months? Come on, think of it. Can't we invest in technology to track distance? Now, let me tell you, an American citizen was kidnapped in Niger Republic, brought to Sokoto. American came all the way from America, and they were able to trace the location. And they went there, picked up that citizen that is far away from America, coming to Nigeria to geolocate wherever their person is being held, and they were able to pick him up. Can't we also partner such technologies to identify where Nigerians are being kept? Can't we also partner such technology to identify where the bad elements are operating from?
So Uncle, very quick one.
All right, thank you so much.
Should Nigerians really have a business with borrowing even after subsidy was removed for the same purpose, so we don't have to borrow?
That is the failure. That is the failure number one. What were we told before the subsidy removal? They say we will have no cost to borrow if subsidy is being removed. And now subsidy is being removed, and yet we are still borrowing. So that is deception.
Okay.
And this subsidy is what common Nigeria enjoy. Now it's being borrowed, it's being removed, and we still borrow. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, the ordinary Nigerian is being played like a football in the field now.
Well, for one thing,
and the government should be very, very careful. Because when people are pushed to the wall, it will get to that point that they have no option than to react. And what will be that reaction? That reaction will be a total rejection of the government.
All right, Sir Kelly, time will not allow, but thank you still for adding your voice in the discourse this morning. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for having me once again.
Right. Well, I can tell you very quick things. If you've been a follower on this station and, of course, of my work on here, professionally, I might add, I don't just solve problems. I give solutions. I give recommendations. I research on them. Now, let me help you through. If naira devaluation can double our debts in naira without new loans, what does that mean for every citizen who earns and saves in naira? It means your savings are buying less. That's what it simply means. So what is the workable solution? Save part of your money in assets that hold value, like a small business or treasury bill. It shouldn't just be just cash. Government should pay workers a cost of living allowance when naira falls sharply. That's what you should do, federal government. When only 3.10 trillion naira of 11.89 trillion naira borrowed in 9 months went to capital projects, how do we make sure future borrowings actually deliver infrastructure? It is very simple. Make a rule. No loan gets approved unless at least 60% is tied to a real project with a start date and an end date. Do you have projects like that in this country? National Assembly, pass a loan for project law. These are the things you should be passing as laws. We don't know what you're passing. What are you passing there? DMO should publish photos of projects monthly. That's accountability. Is it too hard? If 53% of federal government revenue goes to debt service, how would we fund education? How would we fund health? How would we fund reduce poverty for 63% of Nigerians? We must earn more and spend less on companies and rich people who do not pay now. Use World Bank loans at 2% to pay off Euro bonds at 8%. You can do that. Increase tax collection from 10% to 15% of GDP by 2028 is feasible. Cost of governance is too high. We have sang it like a song. We keep singing it and I will not tire saying it. I will keep saying it. If you're not concerned about bulletproof SUVs, that your leaders, your reps, your senates are driving in, and there are people who have parked their cars for months, they cannot tread the roadways. There are people who have lost their jobs. There are people who are hungry. There are people who are dying of starvation. There are people with no shelter. But these guys have houses. They're living good. And they're buying SUV bulletproof cars with a whopping 63 trillion, and you are okay, you're calm. You're all right. You say, no, well, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about the nice things. Please mention the nice things so that we can talk about it. It's really sad. I feel sad, and I will say it. I feel really sad. And then we keep talking about how we want to make progress. Is the current speed of debt growth really sustainable? No. Not at 91 billion naira per day. If income does not rise at the same speed, we will choke. Businesses will fold, and that's what we are seeing. You're seeing it. Entrepreneurs, small scale, they're folding. They're coming to you and they're begging for 5K, 2K, urgent 2,000. People who had businesses that at least was thriving. They even had employees. Maybe two. So we can set a debt break. Law should say total new borrowing per year cannot be more than 50% of last year's revenue. But it's only in Nigeria we have had 3 budgets running concurrently. And we are fine. Politicians are spending 30 billion naira just to vie for a seat in their respective political parties, and we are fine. This is my bid. There's so much to say, but I can't go any further. Let's speak the truth. I always say, be civil, be responsible, but be fearless. When you have the facts, state it. You see the truth, and the truth sets you free. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
No AC? No problem. We're cooling you down with the freshest